Hello, people of the world. Welcome to today's episode of Coffee Chats with Jax. This is Jess. I am Jax. Jess is one of my favorite people on the planet. She's one of my oldest friends in Los Angeles. And when we first met, Jess didn't think we were going to be friends.
I normally am really good at not judging books by their covers. And I'm not saying Jax's cover wasn't good, but really I just thought she was gonna be mean.
I had big poofy blonde hair and I wore big old cowboy boots. I did look a little mean, so I don't blame Jess. Jess, we're very similar.
But we're very different.
Yes, as any people are. I think a lot of people aren't very good at practical helping. Like if someone's having a bad day, Jess will be the first one to be like, oh, well, just come over. Oh, come over. Like, what do you need? She asked me how she could love me better. And there's just a really intentional thing that I think a lot of friendships maybe should be talking about.
I just think that sometimes we need to be reminded that we can tend to love other people, our friends, our family members, the way we like to be loved when that's not how they're wired. And so the reason I asked a question like that is like, okay, yes, Jackie and I have a lot in common in the way that we are, like if you do Enneagram or personality tests, we test the same. But still I have to remember like she's a different human being with a different like background and story, and I don't want to just assume that the way I am and the way I like to be loved is the way that she wants to be loved, or, I just want to care well for her. And sometimes we assume that we're doing that and we're not. When we first became friends, Jackie grew me a lot as a friend. Not only was I totally wrong about her in my first impression, but also like when we were friends, I say the first go around, but like when she lived here first in LA and then she went away for a while and then came back, I just assumed she was like my other friends who were very sarcastic or like, we just kind of like said, really blunt and said whatever we thought to each other. And she didn't have like other friendships that were necessarily that way, I think at the time. And so she would be like, that hurt me the way you said that. And I was like, what? Like, ugh. And at first my ego wanted to be like, well, you just need to learn how to take a joke. And then I was like, no, I want to love her well. So I need to like not joke about something that she could be sensitive about. So anyways, she grew me a lot as a friend.
Jess is one of the best that goes around. And she's also one of the most consistent friends that I've ever had. I could just know that she's there no matter what for literally years. And what's so interesting about that is that we're so similar, but we're also in really different places of life. She was actually my first married friend. I think if I was friends with any married people before this, I apologize. That was really, really exciting for me because I felt like here's these people that I'm doing life with pretty closely. Like I think we hang out more now, but even back then we were doing life in like community groups and like group hangouts and stuff to the point where I could see how it works on that side of the spectrum, because I have no idea what it's like to be married, and now Jess has a kid, and oh my gosh, I have no idea what it's like to have a kid. But what we were talking about earlier is how we think it's really cool that we could be so close and such good friends into totally different places of life, because I could go to her with a lot of questions and looking for like dating tips and relationships advice. And what has that experience been like for you, Jessica?
I think Jessica. Okay, Jacqueline.
Okay, Jacqueline.
A lot of times in friendships, we choose people who meet a certain criteria. We always want people who not just like look like us, but have similar phases of life as us, or their lifestyles are like ours, whatever it may be. And at that time, first of all, we have like almost 7 years between us, because I'll be 31 and you'll be 24. I just think it's been a really cool part of our friendship has been that like when Jackie and I first met, I was married but didn't have a kid, and my life looked a certain way. And then as she moved away and I like had a baby and he started growing, and now since she's been back, he's a 2-year-old.
We skateboard together.
Yeah. And it's been really cool because I feel like in some ways our lives just complement each other. There is much to be learned from each other's experiences in life. A lot of times we become friends with people because of our similarities, but what sustains our friendships typically is our differences. So we start off in a friendship, going, oh, I like you because you're like me. And then down the road, it's like, man, I actually want to do life with you and grow with you because we're really different and I grow from you and vice versa. And so we have 7 years difference and a lot of things that would look like in our stories and backgrounds and all the stats that may look really different, but I feel like I gain a lot from your friendship and I hope you do the same for me.
So since you've had these really long-lasting friendships that I've seen and thought the world of, what would you say are ways that you've maintained that and kept those as healthy friendships and relationships for so long?
I think it's a lot of hard work. I think we're so used to now in today's day and age, like we're so used to being able to like ghost on people, like, oh, they hurt my feelings, and instead of like dealing with an issue, we can just be like, that's all right, I'll like have somebody new, and we just kind of grow these patterns. And I think that the reason I have friendships that have lasted this test of time, it's been a lot of uncomfortable conversations of saying, hey, when this happened, like, I'm sorry, like being quick to say I'm sorry, owning when I'm wrong. And also I feel like the older I get, the kind of tighter and smaller I'm okay with my circle being, and so those relationships are more meaningful and I give them more time and their roots go deeper. And so really being prepared to do hard work in friendships and going, hey, I'm so sorry, like I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have done that, or I wasn't thinking of you when I did that. One of the most powerful things we can do in a friendship is to say we're sorry quickly, resolve an issue before we let feelings fester, because when feelings fester, and sometimes we feel like we need to give it time or space, but a lot of times that can just let feelings grow out of control, and then we have to deal with a bigger mess, you know? Also, learning that as we age and grow and change, that our friendships can change, giving things distance but not holding grudges, like not feeling hurt if I don't hear from someone all the time, but thinking about their life and going, man, I bet they have a lot going on, and sending a text and being like, hey, I'm thinking of you, I miss you, how can I be a better friend to you? You know, stuff like that, just changing and growing the longer the friendship grows.
Yeah, I think it's just a lot about intentionality, just loving people differently based on how they feel loved and based on who they are, and knowing that relationships are like the most important thing in the whole world.
Totally.
And none of them are going to be perfect, and there's going to be conflict, but that doesn't mean like end of relationship. That just means that you can learn from it and grow from it and have the uncomfortable conversations.
By the time you watch this, we will have a podcast out together. A guy named Craig Gross put together this group of people who are all the numbers 1 through 9 on the Enneagram, because there's 9 numbers. And basically there's 9 podcasts hosted individually by someone who is that number. So I'm hosting a podcast as the 7 person. I figured what better way to talk about being a 7 than by having my 7 friend on with me. So you know, fun. It's going to be double 7. But anyhow, so we're doing this Enneagram podcast where we're going to talk about what it's like to be ourselves. But the cool thing about that is the self-awareness in it, like she was talking about. And self-awareness, what that allows us to do is then grow, because we can identify, we can look at our lives, we can say, hey, this is where I would like to see some improvement. I don't like that I react this way. I don't like that this hurts the people in my life. So I want to grow in those spaces. Also helps you to learn the people around you. It helps with relationships a lot.
Yeah, because everyone's different and everyone communicates different, and it just kind of bridges the gap. So we're actually going to go record that now, and if you go check out her Instagram page, you can find a link to more information on that. Jessie, thank you I can never call you Jessie. I love the name Jessie. I used to name my Pollies Jessie.
Oh,
I
you
did.
played with Pollies?
Yeah, the bigger ones, not the really little ones.
Okay.
We will see you guys next time. Bye. I never do a piece. Pretend I didn't piece. Love you guys. Bye. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video with me and one of my favorite humans in the whole entire world. If you would like to get more involved in what I'm doing, then go check out my Patreon page where you can subscribe for literally like $1 a month, and you can get more involved in what I'm doing, read the first chapter or so of my new and up and coming book, Finding Home, and also you'll get your name in the acknowledgement section. The deadline to get your name in the book is August 20th, so go join before then and you will get your name in the book. Or if you would like to buy my first book called Be Free, check that out in the links below. And that is all. Okay, love you guys. Bye.